I will call to order the July 13 meeting of Palm Desert City Council, successor agency to the Palm Desert Redevelopment Agency and Housing Authority. Do we have any public comment for closed session?
No public comment, Madam Mayor.
Do we have any public? Just joking. We will adjourn to closed session.
Test, test, test. Test. That's so loud. Test, test. Test, test. Test. Test, 1, 2. You can hear me, but can you see me?
Thank you, Councilmember Nestande, for the reminder to hydrate.
To resumption of the July 13th meetings of the Palm Desert City Council, successor agency to the Palm Desert Redevelopment Agency and Housing Authority meeting. May we please have the roll call and attendant necessities?
Councilmember Harnick,
Here.
Councilmember Nestande,
Here,
and pursuant to Assembly Bill 2449, could you please state the nature of your remote participation?
I'm attending.
dealing with family issues.
Thank you. And is there anybody over the age of 18 present in the room with you?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Quintanilla.
Present.
And pursuant to Assembly Bill 2449, can you state the nature of your remote participation?
Conference related to city business.
Thank you. And is there anybody present over the age of 18 in the room with you?
No one present at all. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Truby? Here. Mayor Kelly?
Here.
All councils present.
Thank you. And thank you to staff for facilitating remote participation in full compliance with legal requirements. We appreciate that very much. And to take full advantage, Councilmember Nestande, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be followed by words of inspiration from Councilmember Harnick.
Thank you, Mayor, and please stand and honor me as we honor our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Any report from closed session? Oh, excuse me.
Although the report could have been very inspirational. We don't know. So today I just want to share a quote from the ancient Greek poet Hesiod. The best treasure is a sparing tongue.
Thank you. Any report from closed session?
Thank you, Mayor. Less inspiringly, there was no actual item to report from closed session.
We're hoping the inspiration will last for the full meeting. We have no awards, presentations, or appointments to announce this evening. Apart from an important announcement, which will be part of the city manager's comments.
Thank you. I would like to invite Amy Lawrence to the podium to provide council and the public with a quick overview of the 4th of July celebration event.
Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. I'm Amy Lawrence, Deputy Director of Economic Development, and I have here with me Shelby Goodwin, who serves as the city's Special Events Coordinator. On July 4th, the City of Palm Desert held its 35th Annual Independence Day celebration at the Civic Center Park with an estimated attendance of between 8,000 and 10,000 people who enjoyed a variety of food trucks and activities for children throughout the day. Mayor Kelly introduced Boy Scouts of America Troop 1701 as they presented the flags and for the Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem before a performance by the Swing Cats Big Band. The band's performance was followed by a 20-minute fireworks display with an extra special grand finale for the 50th anniversary. As you can imagine, this event takes a village to execute. So for that, we have special thanks that goes to Shelby Goodwin and Vanessa Mager, the city's code compliance and corporation yard staff, landscape, public affairs, and the special programs teams, as well as park ambassadors with the Desert Recreation District, the Riverside County Sheriff's Department, the Riverside County Fire Marshal, the Citizens on Patrol, the College of the Desert for their contributions for making this event a great success. We'd also like to acknowledge the City of Indian Wells for their sponsorship that they give us every year. And now we're off to planning next year's event.
Thank you both. Terrific job. And thank you for including the long list of others who are part of that terrific job. It's absolutely inspirational and moving to see how many city staff and others give up their holiday to make sure that 8,000 to 10,000 others can have a good time. And we certainly did. I loved the new finale. It was different from the past and a real treat. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd also like to invite Martin Alvarez to provide council and the public an update on the Outdoor Worker Appreciation Day that he and staff have been planning. So Martin, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mayor, members of the City Council. It's temperatures like the ones we're experiencing today and these weeks and months to come in our summer that really gives us an opportunity to look and appreciate our outdoor workers. So this is an effort that we're teaming up with our State Assemblyman Greg Wallace's office and also local businesses to deem next week, July 17th through the 23rd, as Outdoor Worker Appreciation Week. Along with that, we're going to take the opportunity on Thursday, July 20th at 8:30 in the morning to have a nice treat for our current outdoor workers in the city. There are too many to list, but I will name off some of the teams that are involved. Of course, we have our streets division, our parks and landscape division, facilities, traffic, public works inspectors, building inspectors, code compliance officers, and our project managers within our capital improvements programs. These are all folks that are out providing service to our community. And we want to thank them specifically next week. And also just show the appreciation for them year round as well. So we're inviting the city council and and staff as well to attend. So if you haven't already, please RSVP soon. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you so much for doing this, and thank you to Councilmember Harnick for playing a big part in getting this tradition going. So if you see an outdoor worker this month, please say thank you and be a part of this tradition.
I have nothing further, Mayor.
Which brings us to mayor and council member reports and requests for action. Let's start with Mayor Pro Tem Quintanilla.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I am very excited to report that there has been a lot of great opportunities here at the conference that I've been attending. And I had the opportunity to connect with researchers at the Arizona State University on how they have been combating and mitigating heat, what they've done with cooling centers, and the way that they have been getting FEMA dollars to support the cooling centers. That was wonderful. And to be able to meet with somebody from the federal level regarding cybersecurity advisors and trying to get a coordinated meeting through the Chamber of Commerce so that this can be information passed on to our small businesses. The idea that a ransomware attack could cripple any of our small businesses and the way that they impact our local economy is very important. There was a discussion on fentanyl in schools and those trends and how to mitigate them, how the community can play a part. And finally, the discussion that we held was including the housing crisis. And it was very interesting that the Department of Agriculture and the Rural Housing Services specifically mentioned the Coachella Valley as an area with high needs. So this is a national conference, and we were highlighted not only for the need, but then later for the innovation that we're having. So I'm very pleased to report, although there had been some questions on the conference, I have found it extremely valuable, and I thank my peers for their support. That is all.
Thank you. Councilmember Nestande.
I don't have any comments to add this evening. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Harnick.
Thank you very much. A few things, if I may. Evan Truby, Councilmember Truby, and I did attend our Cal Cities event this Monday. We had a wonderful presentation on water and the issues that we're dealing with, and it was valuable to be there. And I'm glad we were able to take the time to go over. Okay, Banning or Beaumont?
Beaumont.
Beaumont. Okay. Also, last Thursday, Secretary of Transportation Ameshakan announced a $1.3 billion funding for the ports and the trade corridor. We are part of the trade corridor going through the Coachella Valley. So I know CVAG will be doing a great job representing all of the cities in this area to get funding to make sure that the I-10 is taken care of appropriately and how it impacts our communities. And of course, I want to mention, you know, it's hot out there. It's time to check on our neighbors, our friends, and make sure they're okay. Additionally, July 1st through August 31st is Livestream's 9-City Challenge. And during the summer, our high school blood drives are non-existent and many of our snowbirds leave. So that's another source of blood donations that we don't have. So this is a great time. Every time you donate, you can save up to 3 lives. It's an hour of your time. And you have until August 31st. So make sure you donate. Make sure you say Palm Desert, because we would like to win. But most important is that we help other people in this. So make sure that you take a moment and you donate to help others. And that, again, it's through August 31st. We all have a little bit of time to get there and donate. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Truby.
Yep. Just want to remind everybody that this coming Monday will be the inaugural library task force meeting at 12:30. Very excited to get this process started in delivering our city a beautiful new library. It's going to be a multi-year process, but we would really value your input. You can attend via Zoom or in person. And of course, Jen and I will be there. And I just want to thank staff for moving so swiftly on this. And you just delivered us a real template here to work with, and we really appreciate it. So looking forward to working on this thing. Thank you.
Thank you. I have one request for action. Back in 2019, I believe it was the meeting of April 27th. The council members unanimously observed our assessment that the various downtown overlay districts were not serving to effectively implement the general plan, particularly in regard to heights, which we thought were not consistently desirable nor achievable. Since that time, we've had 2 different significant economic stressors to development in the form of COVID and the inflationary cycle. We've also had quite a lot of staff transition. So now that those currently in the development department have gained some experience with the current system, I'd like to request staff's assessment of how well the overlay districts are functioning or not functioning, and perhaps present some recommendations and alternatives. Does that seem feasible?
Yes.
And do my colleagues support that?
Absolutely support that.
Mhm.
I
Yes, unanimous.
Yes. I see Mayor Pro Tem nodding also. Okay, thank you. That brings us to non-agenda public comments. This is the time to alert the council to topics of interest which are not on tonight's agenda. If you're here to talk about an agenda item, we'll give you the chance to do that just before it's considered. But you have up to 3 minutes to speak to us about things which are not on the agenda. Because of state law requiring notice before we can actually deliberate about something, we won't be able to engage you in conversation, but may be able to briefly refer something to staff for follow-up. Mr. Mejia, could you add logistical instructions?
For those on Zoom, if you want to participate in public comment, please click the raise hand button on your computer or smartphone. If you're joining by calling in on your phone, please dial *9 to raise your hand, and when called upon, press *6 to unmute yourself. And please keep your comments to no more than 3 minutes. Thank you.
And we'll start with those present. Barbara Wasserkrug. Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes, I'm Barbara Wasserkrug, and I have been a resident here in Palm Desert for about 30 years. And I am here today to talk about the Flock license plate reader cameras. But it is a smart artificial intelligence powered mass surveillance camera that is logging, learning, and storing data collector that is an invasion of our privacy and also has many problems of its own. According to the city of Palm Desert, these leased 101 cameras are being installed to help the sheriff to, quote, fight crime and enforce the law. These are carrots of technology. According to Flock's own website, they record a detailed vehicle fingerprint, travel patterns, stores images, analyzes key elements, timestamps. Flock also says that we own all of our own footage and we never share it. That is not true. The recorded data is stored in the cloud that goes to Amazon, Google, and other big tech companies and can easily be hacked. Hundreds of cars become under suspicion for a crime if they are recorded passing by a camera in the vicinity of a crime. These camera systems can be programmed to allow all neighbors to have access to the records of all vehicles' comings and goings. The surveillance system with their records could be used to implicate someone in a crime or any variety of other situations. These dangers are worsened by the broad dissemination of this sensitive information, as it is not only goes to the neighbors, but to the Flock employees, your local police, and even to hundreds of other police departments around the country through Flock's new Talon system, T-A-L-O-N, Talon system, which links all the cameras around the country. This artificial intelligence machine lacks oversight and can make errors and mistakes. These new cameras are unmarked. They are black and on black poles and hard to detect, not to be confused with the intersection cameras. How many people in this room and listening via Zoom value and want to keep their right to privacy? Can I have a show of hands? Thank you. We do not ask for this, and we did not ask for this, and these cameras must be taken down immediately. I request that the city reconsider their decision for recognizing the harmful implication of this expansive artificial intelligence surveillance technology and for putting the civil liberties of their residents at the forefront of their decision. Thank you very much.
Could I just ask one clarification?
Certainly.
I heard you say you're not speaking about cameras placed at intersections.
Yes, I'm not talking about, well, these Flock cameras are I have a picture of which one I'm talking about if you'd like to see it.
Perhaps you could send that to the clerk afterwards.
Who's the clerk? At
Last,
the end. Yeah, I brought a picture because it is confusing. There's so many cameras around here these days that it is confusing to figure out which camera it is. But it's
if you could give the clerk that information.
I can do that.
that would
Certainly.
be
Yes.
Helpful.
Thank you.
And perhaps if we could ask for a summary in the weekly report of safeguards that are in place to protect privacy interests. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Any other public comment from those who are present? Any public comment from Zoom?
No public comment, Madam Mayor.
Then that brings us to the consent calendar. Any council members wish to withdraw something from consent? Seeing no requests, is there a motion to approve?
I motion
Move
to approve the consent
as
calendar.
presented.
We have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Quintanilla and a second by Councilmember Harnick. Please take the vote.
Councilmember Harnick,
Yes.
Councilmember Nastandi,
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Quintanilla,
Aye.
Councilmember Trube,
Yes.
Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Item 2A is award contract to Palm Springs Life Desert Publications, Inc. to produce Palm Desert's 50th anniversary celebration. Our party person is back.
Yes, that's me. Good afternoon again, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, Amy Lawrence, Deputy Director of Economic Development. So in honor of Palm Desert's 50th anniversary incorporation in 1973, staff's planning the anniversary celebration on Saturday, November 18th in the Civic Center Park. And at the direction of the event subcommittee, staff is asked to seek proposals for a consultant to produce the event. After going through this process, we received 9 submissions, which were then narrowed down to 3 for further vetting. Staff is before you today requesting a word of contract with Palm Springs Life to produce the city's 50th anniversary celebration. Palm Springs Life has a proven track record of executing top-notch events within the Coachella Valley. Additionally, their long history with Palm Desert and already established relationships with organizations such as the McCallum Theater, the Living Desert Zoo and Gardens, Acrisure Arena, and the College of the Desert, and various Palm Desert-based businesses, nonprofit organizations, and restaurants could be proved beneficial to the success and innovation of the event. Palm Springs Life plans to showcase the history of Palm Desert over the last 50 years during this event, which will also include dynamic musical acts and art installations, kids activities, a food drink area, and featuring the taste of Palm Desert. Upon approval of this contract, staff will work with Palm Springs Life on specific details of the event, and we will regularly report back to the City Council. And additionally, staff will return to City Council in September with a formal request for park waivers once we have more details on the scope and layout of the event. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Questions from council? I see no questions. So thank you to staff for doing such a thorough job of vetting potential consultants. Comments, motion?
I'd like to move staff's recommendation.
I'll second that.
Please take the vote.
Councilmember Harnick,
Yes.
Councilmember Nastandi,
yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Quintanilla,
Aye.
Councilmember Trube,
Yes.
Mayor Kelly.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
and you knew to stay put.
This one's not a party, but I did notice they put.
Item 2B, approve contract with Coachella Valley Water District for utility conflict relocation in roundabout at San Pablo Avenue and San Gorgonio Way.
Well, hopefully this will culminate in a party. Let's just say that. So this is a request for approval of utility relocation at the San Pablo Phase 1 roundabout in order to move forward with the installation of the sunburst sculpture. So as noted in the staff report, utilities were always a consideration for this project. However, during the engineering phase for the sculpture's foundations, lighting, and installation plan, it was discovered that utilities were much more significantly obstructing than anticipated. So approval of relocating these utilities will allow the project to remain on track with installation of the sculpture still scheduled for October, November of this year. And additionally, if relocation is approved, staff will work with the residents and businesses in the area to notify them of the work, even though it's minimal impact, such as road closures, because the work will be confined to the roundabout. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions? I see no questions, so comments or motion would be welcome.
A motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Please take the vote.
Councilmember Harnick.
Yes, and it sounds like it's more of the 50th anniversary celebration. Thank you.
Councilmember Nastandi.
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Quintanilla.
Aye.
Councilmember Truby.
Yes.
Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Item 2C, award contract number C 45240 in the amount of $3,057,420 to Maddich Corporation of San Bernardino, California for the Fred Waring Drive Street Rehabilitation Project. Project number 752-23 MST 00008. Mr. Gaylor.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. I'm Ryan Gaylor with the Capital Projects Department. The item before you is for the rehabilitation of Fred Waring Drive between Highway 111 and Monterey Avenue. The asphalt pavement here has been showing signs of distress, which includes rutting and alligator cracking and other deterioration. And this indicates that various failures of the asphalt and the subgrade. If the roadway is not replaced, it'll soon develop potholes and other significant failures. Street conditions are typically graded on a 100-point scale called the Pavement Condition Index, with 100 representing a brand new street. And there are segments of Fred Waring Drive that are dipping into the low 50s. So it's time to get on this thing. City contracted with a pavement engineering expert to evaluate the street, and they conducted tests, including ground penetrating radar, and they determined that the best treatment would be full depth reclamation. The project will pulverize the existing asphalt and blend it with the existing aggregate base. They'll then remove the top 6 inches of that new blended material so that they can pave a 6-inch layer of new asphalt concrete on top. The project's going to require a lot of heavy equipment and there will be significant impacts to traffic. But the contractor will maintain access to the businesses and provide at least 1 lane of traffic in each direction on Fred Waring at all times. The contractor will likely phase the project, so they'll close outside lanes to construct the improvements along the sidewalk and the driveways first. Then they'll move to the pulverization of the outside lanes. And once they have that base paved, they'll move the operation to the inner lanes and rehabilitate those lanes. In addition to the street rehab, there's going to be pedestrian facilities and drainage improvements that will be maintained. Here's the timeline. We anticipate that the project will take approximately 90 calendar days. So we've built a timeline with this in mind. We added an early completion incentive into the contract to encourage the contractor to finish the project ahead of schedule. When we're addressing a project on an arterial like Fred Waring, communication is clearly very important. So with that in mind, we've built significant aspects into this timeline. You can see can you go back that one slide real quick? So we're up to July, and at this point we've sent out direct mailers to a large area that is in and around Fred Waring Drive. We've scheduled community meetings to meet with people and explain. And of course, we're here tonight asking for the City Council to award this contract. Next slide. We've been receiving support from our public affairs team to help get the word out. And in support of that, we've already put out changeable message signs on Fred Waring to notify drivers of the upcoming project. And we have an Engage Palm Desert page for Fred Waring that's already live and accessible on our website. With that being said, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Seeing none, are there comments or a motion?
I do have a comment, Madam Mayor.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. I've heard from residents that they know that it is necessary. They're not looking forward to it, but they appreciate that there is the reminder and are encouraging people to start practicing alternate routes. So thank you to staff for coordinating the messaging ahead of time to remind folks and to mitigate any inconveniences, however much possible.
Councilmember Harnick.
Similar comment. We've always taken great pride in our PCI, pavement condition index, of being in, at least in the 80s. So when you said 50s, I was surprised. And thank you for all the outreach and making it as easy as possible on our community members and our guests. And this is going to be, I know it'll be difficult, but I appreciate all the effort that everyone has taken to make it as easy as possible. Thank you.
Councilmember Truby.
Thank you, Ryan. So this project's intended to take 90 days or anticipated to take 90 days. How early does the contractor have to get finished to capture that early incentive reward? I guess we'll call it
15 days early
75 roughly.
in order to get the whole amount 15 days early. So it's on a scale before that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Who would like to make the motion?
I'll move to approve the agenda item as presented.
I will second that.
Please take the vote.
Councilmember Harnick,
Yes.
Councilmember Nastandi,
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Quintanilla,
I
Councilmember Truby,
Yes.
Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
And we have two public hearings this evening. The first is to approve a proposed plan for bond issuance by the California Statewide Communities Development Authority for the crossings at Palm Desert Apartment Project. I will open the public hearing and ask for our staff report.
Good evening, Jessica Gonzalez, Housing Manager with your Economic Development Department. As proposed, as identified on our request, the California State Communities Development Authority, a California public entity, is authorized to issue revenue bonds for the purpose of financing multifamily rental projects. The borrower, a partner of the developer, has requested that CSDA adopt a plan for financing and providing the issuance of the multifamily housing revenue bonds. The proposed plan includes the issuance of tax exempt revenue bonds not to exceed 60 million for the purpose of financing, acquisition, construction, and development of the crossings at Palm Desert. The proposed plan requires that the local jurisdiction hold a public hearing and adopt a resolution supportive of the bond issuance to meet the requirement of the Tax and Equity Fiscal Responsibility Act, as well as the Internal Revenue Code of 1986. The city has no other obligations beyond satisfying the requirements of the TEFRA and the code. The bonds to be issued by CSCDA for the financing of this community will be the sole responsibility of the borrower, including the repayment of bonds. The city has supported and satisfied the requirement of TEFRA and the code for other developments, including the Sands, Vitalia Apartments, and the Gerald Ford Apartments. Crossings at Palm Desert Apartments is a multifamily rental housing community located at the southeast corner of Dick Kelly and Gateway Drive. The community is proposed to be 100% affordable housing development that will consist of 176 units varying from 1, 2, and 3 unit bedroom units for families not exceeding 80% of the area median. Staff recommends that the city council take public testimony and adopt the resolution supporting the borrower's request. The developers team, Mark Irving representative, is here, as well as a representative from CSCDA.
Any public comment?
No public comment, Madam Mayor.
Any questions for staff or Mr. Irving? I see no questions, so I will close the public hearing and invite comment and or a motion.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve this project, and we can't get affordable housing built fast enough.
I second that.
Please take the vote.
Councilmember Harnick,
Yes.
Councilmember Nastandi,
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Quintanilla,
Aye.
Councilmember Truby,
Yes.
Mayor Kelly.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
Mr. Irving, thank you for being here and for moving forward with the project. Next is item 3B, approve a power purchase agreement with Forefront Power for the Desert Willow Overflow Lot photovoltaic project. Project number 777-14 CFA 00005. I will open the public hearing and invite the staff report.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. The item before you is for the approval of a power purchase agreement to benefit the Desert Willow Golf Course Clubhouse. This is another opportunity to expand the city's portfolio in support of renewable energy projects. Not long after the City Council approved 5 PPAs in October, Public Works staff was directed to research options to reduce the electrical costs at the Desert Willow Golf Clubhouse. Public Works consulted with the same team that identified the original 5 photovoltaic locations, and they identified a parking lot that'll be constructed on the corner of Marketplace and Desert Willow Drive as an ideal location for a carport photovoltaic system. This project's sized to offset 100% of the energy usage from the clubhouse, as well as a portion of usage from a golf course irrigation pump. The overflow parking lot solar project will generate over 1,300 megawatt hours annually. And over the 20-year term of the agreement, the city is expected to save over $2.6 million on electricity bills. This power purchase agreement is virtually identical to the 5 power purchase agreements the City Council approved in October of 2022. The final financial assumptions of the agreement have been reviewed by NV5, who are experts in the field of sustainable energy planning. Best and Krieger has reviewed the legal aspects of the agreement, and BB&K and NV5 have concluded that the terms of the agreement and the assumption used in the analysis are reasonable. So staff recommends that the City Council find that the project will result in net cost savings to the city over the life of the 20-year contract in compliance with Government Code Section 4217, then approve the remaining recommendations.
Thank you. Is there any public comment?
No public comment, Madam Mayor.
Any questions from council? Councilmember Truby.
Okay, so Ryan, this lot currently is just dirt, if I'm understanding. Okay, so we're gonna pave it, create car spaces, car parking, and add just kind of ground up deal here.
Yeah, the parking lot will be constructed as part of the Desert Surf development. That development will construct it, and it will add the photovoltaic element.
Perfect. I just want to make sure what I'm looking at. Thank you.
All right. Council has advised that before we close the public hearing, we should make a finding based on the independent review that the proposed system provides energy savings in compliance with Government Code 4217. Would someone like to move that finding?
make the motion to move the staff's recommendation with the additional finding. No, we don't get to.
We have to do
Separate.
this separate.
Okay, so then I will make the motion to move that finding.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Please take the roll
Counsel-
call.
Councilmember Harnick,
Yes.
Councilmember Nastandi,
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Quintanilla,
Aye.
Councilmember Truby,
Yes.
Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
And now I will close the public hearing and invite the further motion you were eager to make,
So eager. And I do have a quick comment if I may.
please.
I'm so happy we're doing this. And I know this is one of the council goals is to have as much of this renewable type of energy we can, and this is great. So thank you very much for all the efforts and the team who brought it to us today. So then I will make the motion to put forth staff's recommendation.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Please take the vote.
Councilmember Harnick,
Yes.
Councilmember Nastandi,
yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Quintanilla,
Aye.
Councilmember Truby,
Yes.
Mayor Kelly.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
That is all the business on the agenda for this evening. For those of you who might be attending a council meeting for the first time, you might be amazed that so many momentous things have happened so quickly. And it's because we received excellent staff reports that allowed council to do our homework. And we also have a procedure to ask questions and seek clarifications ahead of the meeting. So thank you to everyone for your efficiencies. We will be adjourned.
thank you, Mayor.
Have a good night. Hydrate.